never was able to get into... the exploration in this. Here, jump to this asteroid belt. It just didn't make sense to me, but I'll see if I can't do a new training mission and see if it makes sense to me now. Firmer put down its glass and stared at Terden. You all did me a lot of good during those hard times, Terden said. But that's over now. These are new times. Remember Melev. Do not mention that name again, Firmer said calmly. It's the height of the plague years, and I won't pretend that term doesn't apply to the Sansha too. Because they came right when everything was bad already. So what happens? The leader of mine colonies approached one night at his house by a scout like me, and he gets an offer, same as you do now, and he takes the offer. We move in, not intending any violence. Then some people get into their heads they want to fight, so they fight and they get hurt. Some manage to run away and some don't. All because the colony leader tried to make a sensible deal with us, and some people made a bad decision. Terden leaned forward. It doesn't have to happen again. To hear you, of all people, saying this. They're coming, Fermar, Terden said. And you're a leader, the leader now. But I know that you can keep your people in check, so I offer you the same deal as they did back then. He leaned back, waiting for the answer. When none was forthcoming, he said, You know, they don't always do this. Sometimes they just move in. Especially when they're hungry for people, and believe me, with the capsuleers thinning out their numbers, they're real hungry now. But I know you, and I asked to come here, smooth things out. Fermar said, We might fight back this time too. I have contacts and I heard of Sansha coming. I made sure we had weapons. That's stupid, Terden said, and suicidal. They have my daughter. You know this, Fermar said. You people are on the other side of everything. They fell silent. Terden looked around. Yeah, I know. Thanks for the reminder. It's not like I'm trying to help you, you ungrateful fossil. He looked back at Fermar. I wasn't going to bring up family, but since we're on the subject, how's your wife? That's going to go well. Move to this. Ooh, there's rich phagocyte. Go to that. Let's hope it's a large vein of it. She's dead, Fermar said. That's a fact. Is that why there are no pictures of her? Terden said. He waved his hand at the walls. I see pictures of your daughter here, but not your wife. That's surprising, isn't it? Fermar sat silent. Terden said, I think she's dead to you, which is usually a little different. Though right now it comes out to about the same. When did you lose her? After we came? Long after? Why the hell are you asking this? Fermar said. Because the only one who matters to you now is Carla, and I don't believe for a second that you're being a colony leader because you want to. It's because you're a sensible man with a good head on his shoulders, who's taken so many losses to now, he only wants to wait until life catches up with him. Needs that one last breath he has. Terden took another sip of his drink and sat quietly added, You could see Carla. Fermar, I had to stop for a second and remember who which guy was, cause jumping between these two is throwing me. Terden took another sip of his drink and quietly added, You could see Carla. Fermar's breath caught. His own drink was untouched. He reached for it, hesitated, and reached again but didn't pick it up. Only held on to it as if for balance. What did you say? Can't guarantee you'll spend much time together, but at least you'll meet again. She's close enough in the area she could be brought over, and I told the Sansha of her connection to you. But that's not going to happen if you bring a fight. They won't skin Carla if I fight. Oh, they'll definitely skin Carla if you fight. With a gun in her hand, and this is the first house she'll go to. They'll dock, and they'll swarm in, and they won't enter a single house until they've entered yours, dragged you out and put a bullet in your head. They will make an example of you. Farmer studied Terradon for a while and then said, I believe you. Speaking of which, that rotten cheat of a colony leader whose name you mentioned earlier, how's he doing? Terradon's tone changed subtly from confrontation to elucidation. Melv made the right choice, so he's doing fine. Enjoying his life. That's so. Absolutely, Terradon said without hesitation. What is the ranges on this? 15M. Okay. Do it again. Approach. Launch a hobgoblin. Launch the mining drones. Stop. Farmer said, see, that's interesting. Because last time I saw him, he was tied to a chair in a noise-proof room, and there was little old life left in him. I'll read it again. Malou made the right choice, so he's doing fine, enjoying life. That's so. Absolutely, Terradon said without hesitation. Farmer said, see, that's interesting. Because the last time I saw him, he was tied to a chair in a noise-proof room, and there was little old life left in him. Terradon, sipping from the glass, froze up. You're right, Farmer said. He did make the right decision. Back when he was colony leader. It was right for him and nobody else, and we never forgot it. Farmer, glass in hand, so he rose to his feet and walked over to Terradon, towering over him. I lost Carla, who you people took. Lost my wife, who couldn't stand the loss and the aftermath. The Sancha took everything from me. The miserable excuse for a human being we had as a colony leader. He paved their way. He poured the contents of his wine glass on the floor beside Terradon, who momentarily looked down at his own glass before looking up again with a puzzled expression. Farmar said, for years I couldn't even think straight. Carla had been taken and I wanted to get her back at any cost. Made contacts, I moved around, started to learn about the people you serve, but there's no way to get to her or even discover where she was. He leaned in close, till at long last, I tracked down my old colony leader. He was a spy by that point, working for you people in another colony, reporting on its setup, getting in with its leaders. In a cold tone, Terradon said, and you ratted him out, to be tortured and killed. During which I discovered a life among the true slaves isn't really that pleasant. In fact, it's downright rotten. You are handed in and made into a mindless drone, subject to the whims of a single person who certainly doesn't bear your instincts at heart, and it eventually drives you insane. Doesn't matter what level your implants are, threshold beyond which you start to rebel against lack of free will, and your subconscious realizes that it's trapped. It's extremely painful in the long run. Those symptoms break out in unusual ways. You never thought about how willing these people are to die for them. You've never thought about how willing these people are to die for their master. Think that even his machinery couldn't erase the survival instinct. You would think that even his machinery couldn't erase the survival instinct. But once you've been a slave long enough, apparently all you want to do is die. Theoden took a long, slow sip. I'm perfectly fine, he said. You scouts get more autonomy than the rest, Farmer said. All they need is to keep tabs on you, not control you. They'll have vetted you and found that you're one of the rare breed who will willingly join the Sancha. You're safe, he spat. Theoden stared at him. His jaw clenched. Was there something wrong with the wine, he said at last, nodding his head towards a puddle of alcohol on the floor, lifting his own glass to his mouth. Oh, it's poisoned, the farmer said. Theoden stopped, wine in his mouth. He slowly swallowed and then said, I finished half a glass, Farmer. Farmer looked at the spreading stain on the floor. Theoden followed his gaze, dropping his own glass in the process. When Theoden looked back up at Farmer, the old man had a gun in his hand. Theoden's eyes widened and he started to rise, but Farmer shot him, first through a knee, then through each shoulder. Theoden dropped to the floor, screaming, and Farmer knelt down beside him, saying, Before you go into shock, I want to tell you something. I know this won't get to the Sancha, because they don't use direct feeds on their scouts. First off, the wine wasn't poisoned. I want to slow you down a bit and make it comfortable, distract you at the end. Which is funny because it's pretty much what your type does when you're about to pounce on innocent people. Second, I know Carla's in this region. She's been here for a while. It's a long time before I realized that he couldn't possibly go after her. And if I tried, they would either kill me or move her somewhere they'd never find her. So I'm bringing her to me. Theoden was quiet, gasping for breath. Farmer arose, grunting with effort. Once everyone... He hesitated and fired a shot into Theoden's arm. Theoden screamed, and his hand, which had been reaching into his clothes, dropped back into view, a small pellet rolling out of its grip. Leave the suicide dose alone, thanks. I want you to hear this. Farmer ambled over to his seat, keeping his gaze on Theoden. This entire colony is wired with explosives. Theoden's grimace turned to surprise, and he stared at Farmer in shock. You're insane, he said. Everyone was left, just about. I knew you people were coming for you did. I still have my contacts, and I watched the solar winds. When they made me leader, I told them of my Sancha experience. Oh, Serpentis. These are very weak pirates, so they're not doing exactly much. Like, I took 2 points of damage.
Skill training completed.
Unallocated points. Launch yourself. Not sure what that's about. Return to Drone Bay. Sure, why not? Didn't want to call both of you back, but sure. I was going to take one of each, but I misdid it. So, if I click here, I can just tell them to salvage. So the other thing will gather up everything that's there. Well, they salvage it. And then these guys will come back and drop these off to me. I also got credit for that. So if I go and check my finances, wallet, my expenses. Oh yeah, I bought some books. Transactions, skill purchase, market shares, pay. Didn't I get some bounties? Oh no, that takes an hour to come in, doesn't it? Yeah, we'll see that in a bit. one of the first things I did was implement an escape plan in case your employer decided to move into the area. Which you did, after a good long while. And I had my people start practicing. He'd have gotten trained in Terradon, and his eyes narrowed. When I found that you of all people had been posted to this part of space, there wasn't long to wait, and that you'd be the one they would send. When I heard you were finally on your way, I fired up the plan. Everyone left quietly and efficiently, and the people still here are a skeleton crew. And after you and I are finished, they will leave. They will leave too. Nobody here will get caught by the zombies. Nobody. Your daughter will come here, Terradon said. She'll come to your house, gun in hand. If I don't return, you'll never get her back. A puddle of blood was spreading across Terradon's body. His voice quivered with exhaustion. Oh, I will, but not in the way you think I want, Farmer said. He got up again and walked over to Terradon, this time kneeling on his damaged hand. Terradon hissed in pain, but kept his eyes open and staring straight at Farmer's. Farmer said, when someone has been taken in by the Sandsha, modified to Carl's level and kept for as long as she has, there's no turning back. One thing I can do for her now is ease her misery, and my own, and that of anybody else you people send to this miserable rock. If I can't do it for whatever reason, then the explosives will. Murderer, Terradon croaked. Yes, Farmer replied calmly. Terradon's expression showed that this hadn't been an expected reaction. After my team is gone, everyone left here will die, Farmer said. Including me, Terradon said, clearing his throat and taking deep, hissing breaths. Including you. You really are a bitter, vengeful fossil, aren't you? Terradon said, trying to shift so that he could glare at Farmer. And you've lost it. You've tried rebelling once when you had a perfect good chance of saving everyone you cared about and you failed. So you now want to finish the job and make sure they're all dead. He lifted his head with the effort, his shoulders giving him no support. Now he slumped back to the ground, breathing heavily, his one good hand making a fist. Sorry, just need hand gel. Farmer thought about this and then said, I'm finishing what needs to be finished. And confronting something no one else would, which is a lesson you and a lot of other people should have learned a long time ago. But if it wasn't for you people, sometimes I read things without even actually seeing what's before my eyes, so it's just throwing me off. Let me just stop and check what I said. I feel I bundled it really well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I heard beeping. Not sure what that's about. And you've lost it. You tried rebelling once when you had a perfectly good chance of saving everyone you cared about, and you failed. So now you want to finish the job and make sure they're all dead. Lifted his head he lifted his head with the effort, his shoulders giving him no support. Now he slumped back to the ground, breathing heavily, his one good hand making a fist. Farmer thought about this and then said, I'm finishing what needs to be finished, and confronting something no one else would. Which is a lesson you and a lot of other people should have learned a long time ago. If it wasn't for people like you and that old colony leader, we never had those situations at all. I wouldn't have lost my daughter. There was no response. Farmer sighed, aimed his gun and shot Terradon in the head. Terradon twitched with the impact, then lay still in his puddle of blood. Farmer set the gun down on his chair, then walked over to the comms console and activated it. It's done, he said. Very shortly after, several men came into the room. You do alright, sir? They asked. Yeah, it's all confirmed, he said. Thanks for waiting. You were close? Outside the door, practically, said one of them said, and grinned.
The asteroid is depleted.
Oh, the rich one's gone. Let's check the list. It's within 15, right? Let's lock this target. We'll hit this one up. The the other one will be done not too long. I guess I could preemptively target this one. To limit how many targets you can have. I think it's just by your skills. No worries. Outside the door practically, one of them said and grinned. No worries, we didn't listen in. We heard the shot and a scream, we knew you had him. Alright, clear out the body please, and get in your ships as fast as you can, with a little time, but not much. The men nodded, and carried Terradon's body out of the room. Farmer turned and was about to put away the drinking glasses when he heard them all come back in. They walked up to him in silence, and every one of them shook his hand. Then they left. Farmer sat down to wait. If he failed with Terradon, these people would have taken over, after which they would have primed automatic triggers that would have set off the explosives as soon as Sansha had gotten into the colony. Now that suspicions had all been confirmed, the only thing remaining was to sit it out. If something were to happen to him now, the triggers would still work, but he hoped he would see it through. He hoped he would hear a knock at the door, see another familiar face, if only for a second before the end. I thought it had a slightly different ending, but yeah. That was the Plague Years. I'm sorry the reading was a little banjaxed, but it is a good story. Go read it yourselves. Oh, Rich takes up the exact same amount of space as, like, Azure here. Nice. Goes for ever so slightly more. As you would expect. So. Let me check, see if I can change that UI thing. Shortcuts. Windows. I want to literally close all button. Proving grounds.
The asteroid is depleted.
I'll deal with that in a sec. Talk of collapse. This one. Mine. Okay, activities. The Proving Grounds. What are you? Following results for the Guardians 2v2 Cruisers Proving Ground. They'll reopen after downtime. This. I wouldn't fancy my chances. I don't know what the ESS is. Direct on high-value ESS banks and claim the ISK. That's the currency of the setting. Also matches with Iceland's financial code. So there is this, where you can side up with factions to join them in factional warfare. Where you fight against, like, this is Galente fighting against Kodari and Amar. Presumably Minmatar is in here as well. Because the Empires are Galente and Minmatar against Kodari and Amar. So, if you get in good with Galente, you'll be gaining some side rep with the Minmatar, and same with the other two. Well, you'll be losing it with the other two, but, you know, obviously it's inversed. So here you can engage in factional warfare where you can fight players, NPCs, you can take stations, and have stuff like change hands. I don't know too much about it, but like you can see it here. Unique missions. You be paid in LPs proportional to the value of your faction warfare target. All faction warfare enemies of your faction may be shot with impunity. So that's why I don't want to sign up for it, because it puts a flag on my back. At least if a player attacks me right now, the Concord will come and save my ass. But if I was in that, then no. Damn, apparently have a lot of assets. Max number of skills has been added. Okay. Ooh, that's expensive. But it knocks 8 days off, so that's nice. You can also get enhancements. This just changes your pod. That's why my pod's golden. These were given out as part of like different events 8 years back. These boost each other if you have them. The sets and grow beyond just 2. I think there's a 3rd one or a 4th one. So you can see here my standings with everyone. Goldari State. Goldari State is ruled by several mega corporations. There is no central government to speak of. All territories within the state are owned and ruled by corporations. Duty and discipline are required traits in Goldari citizens, plus unquestioning loyalty to the corporation they live to serve. Corporations compete aggressively amongst themselves and with companies outside the state, resulting in a highly capitalistic society. Base standings with syndicates minus that. But due to my diplomacy, it actually still manages to work into positives. Formed by Intanki exiles of the Galante Federation during the Kildari Galante War, the syndicate has slowly grown in stature and influence. And now serves. Let me start again. Formed by Intanki, I don't know how to say it, exiles from the Galante Federation during the Kildari Galante War. I keep feeling I'm reading it wrong, it's pissing me off. The syndicate has slowly grown in stature and influence. Now serves as an important link between the Empire and the legal elements in the outer regions. Syndicate's base is a pirate haven, but still retains enough civility to allow pretty much anyone to travel there to do business. The syndicate markets are always chock full of contraband goods and illegal wares that are hard or impossible to come by elsewhere. Each syndicate station is an autonomous entity, but to cooperate on security and information issues. The unofficial leader of the syndicate is Sophie and Diabel, former sister of Eve that returned to Syndicate space to save her family's fortune. Since then, she's turned out to be just as resourceful and ruthless as her late father. That works. Most of mines come from exploration? Two points. I think that's the bounty. Non-regional markets. They've also introduced a new marketing, the HyperNet Relay, which seems to be a greater market, but you need something to actually access it. Wallet. Yeah, that was the bounty. Just all got paid to me an hour later. Yeesh. Skilling spree. They just want you to do I know, it's random minor things. It's weird. Then there's the Gala, Guardians Gala. Too late to really join in it, so just ignore it. So, roaming enemies for Pentis. Wonder if we'll stipulate like Shadow Serpentis. They're rare, rather rare spawns normally. They might be specifically named, or they mightn't be. Ooh, this is nice. And yeah, it seems that the different empires have different ores in their territory. And the lower security status, the better the stuff. Should be able to find Amber somewhere here. But anyway. Wait, what? Overview all. That's about. These are fleeing? Yeah. You can see here the damage they're doing. There's shield, armor, and structure. You can see the exact amount of health I have for each. These are just some random frigates. They aren't really going to be able to hack through. They aren't a danger to me. Like I said, I fell asleep, woke up, and my like single hobgoblin had hacked its way through, a fair night's worth of enemies. I got Shadow Serpentis ammo when I woke up. Oh, you can see the other thing at work there, pulling stuff in. Salvage. Salvaging attempts can't fail. I think you have a higher chance when you do it yourself, especially with skills, but I prefer to just let the drones handle it. It's less painful. I would like to go run those other guys down. Ah, I failed. Oh well. I would like to...
The asteroid is depleted.
Oh, target. Engage target. Your drones also have a limited distance they can operate under, but you can increase that depending on the type of ship you got and skills. Everything comes down to skills. Ooh. Wait, I thought you were already gone because it suddenly stopped tracking you.
The asteroid is depleted.
I don't know. Do you? How is my... I got still room to go. Okay, target you. And target you. One to you, and mine. So, open cargo. Whoa! 10,000 pyrite right off the cuff. That's nice. Must come off the cargo hauler. Can't even target it at that range. I could try and chase after it and run it down, but it's... I'm seeing it as a bonus, not as anything else. I'm not gonna go mad trying to get him in all this. So EVE Online, well more relaxed. Again, so says resource loading. I don't know what that's about. Did they do a new tutorial? Yeah, this looks different to me. Distance, high sec, please. I don't want to bring this into low sec and get, you know, I'm trying to scratch an itch here. I don't want to lose shit. Oh, University of Dem. That's the faction you start off with if you side with Galante. You can like join any faction, you aren't locked in. It's not like Alliance and Horde, but you know it's easy if you start off with a faction. You start off like right in their territory. It's easier to do their quests. But yeah, let's have a look at this. Ore anomalies. Additional cache ore may appear in systems. Yeah, let's take a look at this. return to drone bay. Scoop to cargo hold. Yeah, these things are worth 7 million by themselves. I think my loot is still in it, but whatever. Cancel it. Cancel it. Got it to tier 2. Oh, the gather is worth 10k by itself. Bounty. Activities. The agency. Show map browser. Not useful. Show on map. Okay, still have no idea what that beep 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 is about. I was hoping to just set a station as my destination, but
Autopilot engaged.
if this was, if you know, this is what it is. Whatever.
Warping to Stargate.
I
Warp
can
drive
find one
active.
easy enough once I get there. Cancel.
Autopilot disabled.
Shit! That was the loot from the other thing. I didn't notice it till it was too late. Clear.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disabled. No waypoint set.
Okay, actually, wait, I'm still in the system. Thing will last for a little bit.
Warp drive active.
Yeah. If I lose the loot, I lose the loot, but I would like to not lose the loot. Here, one sec. I found where it is. It's on... That's why recording is very handy. It's here.
Warp drive active.
Wish you could put on beneath the asteroids here. It's a good song. They used to have a jukebox in here where you can put any song on this soundtrack, but they got rid of it for some reason. It was a terrible decision. Standings just decreased randomly with them. Oh, yeah, it's because of the earlier kill. Guess they found out about that. I actually still have shockingly high Serpentis skill. It's a Serpentis rap. Shockingly high. It's at 1. Industry. Oh, these are done. I just need to deliver them. Or tell them to finish. Manufacturing. No, this is no use to me. Mining ledger. Eve online refine. Refining. Oh, apparently an NPC station has an efficiency between 30% and 50%. Player ones can have a base rate of 50%. Well, Citadel's an engineering complex of base rate of 50. The Anator refinery has 51, and Atatara refinery has 52. Percentage can be increased up to 4% through the use of rigging in high security space, more in low security, even more not. That's annoying. Open cargo. Oh, it's already open. There's no knowing scooping or anything like that. It just opens. Agency, you set destination,
Autopilot
handle it
engaged.
for me.
Warping to Stargate.
So that place
Warp
that
drive
was there is
active.
the best I can hope for without, you know, just upping my skills further, which I've upped them as far as I can go. Oh, got some bounties. Ooh, mining drone tier 2. Excavator and augmented. Mining drone. Presumably this is just a flat upgrade over the tier 1s. Once the most efficient mining drone money could buy, the Harvester mining drone failed to keep up with the continued innovation years after its introduction. For time, this once prestigious piece of equipment fell into disuse. A revitalization project initiated in Y118 updated the venerable Harvester designs with the latest mining drone technology. Initially sold to Empire-based mining operations across the cluster, blueprints eventually ended up in the hands of capsuleers and pirates through the usual bloody avenues. Augmented. This advanced mining drone is based on rogue drone technology and optimized for impressive efficiency by the wild and hostile artificial intelligences. Drone AI experts were initially surprised by how easily this technology was adapted for capsuleer interfacing, almost as if the rogue drones had designed this mine equipment for human use. Ooh, that's creepy. Reverse engineering of the active specimens collected last quarter in U-FQ21 has proved even more fruitful than initially projected. We estimate completion of a shippable product within next redacted. The disruption to this project during the ownership transfer has been minimal, largely due to the location of primary development at a facility in redacted. These machines have evolved incredible harvesting capabilities during their period of isolation. Teams encountered signs of redacted during the latest expedition, which led them to suspect the potential of redacted within infested regions. This hypothesis may explain the scale of
Autopilot jumping.
Explain the scale of unrestricted drone mineral harvesting. Those are questions concerning redacted and redacted. The directive Omega 15 compliance report awaits redacted and will be sent to the redacted list. Yarn Hua or special research liaison Project Reaper quarterly report. Sufficient clearance for unredacted access. Please contact the Department of Friendship and Mutual Assistance for receiving this message in error. Oh, that's not ominous. Utilities. Compare. Oh, compare. Jeez, these cost a lot. I can only assume that
Approaching Stargate.
This means it's worth the. That means it's the best. That does take up a lot more space. Okay, mining amount. They can mine the most, but they also take up a lot of space. Bandwidth. They also take up a lot of bandwidth. You can only have so much used. Same across the board wouldn't matter. It's also actually a lot slower. So yeah, I guess if I was looking for an upgrade, it would be this. Because it's a good middle ground. This is faster, but doesn't mine as much. So it should be a fair middle ground. God, there's a lot there.
Autopilot.
Actually, speaking of Shadowlands there, I should get back to that. Still have to do the fourth place. Haven't gotten on to that yet. Just have not liked the Blue Valkyrie people, or the Winter Queen.
Active.
Ooh.
Approaching Stargate.
Auto points for secondary currency denoting amount of favour you've incurred with various corps. Did a lot of jobs with federal intelligence. Like, see there, that's my drone bay. I would only be able to carry 2 of the other things. I don't know why this keeps flashing. Bugging me. But maybe they're for... not an exhumer, but you. The Roquo was conceived by and designed by Outer Ring Excavations in response to a growing need for capital industry platforms with the ability to support and sustain large-scale mining operations in uninhabited areas of space. To that end, the Roquo's primary strength lies in its ability to grind raw ores into particles of smaller size than possible before, while still maintaining their distinctive molecular structure. This means the vessel is able to carry vast amounts of ore in compressed form. Additionally, Roquo is able to fit a capital tractor beam unit capable of pulling in cargo containers for far greater distances and at far greater speeds than smaller beams can. It also possesses a sizable drone bay, jump capacity, and capacity to fit a clone vat bay. This combination of elements will work the ideal nexus to build deep space mining operations around. Due to its specialization towards industrial operations, its ship maintenance bay is able to accommodate only industrial ships, mining barges, and their Tech 2 variants. So here's its boosts. It can operate excavator drones. This of great bandwidth and drone-based space. Sora hold is none to sniff at either, though. Yeah, there's an extra 0 there. I couldn't remember. I remembered. I had a trio in mind, but I couldn't remember how many zeros, you know? But, yeah. It's a capital, so I'm not sure if you can use that in high security. That tends to be a restriction. I don't think I can use strip miners on these. The Orca was developed as a joint venture between Outer Ring Excavations and Deep Core Mining Inc. as a vessel to help meet the demands of New Eden's industry and provide a flexible platform from which mining operations could be more easily managed. The Orca uses much of the technology developed by OR for Rorqual and integrated with the latest advancements from Deep Core Mining Research Division has developed a vessel which offers a diverse role to all sizes of operations and needs. It's got half this cargo bay of this, but still, it's respectable. Which there's a way to just like set it like, okay, train up to here.
Autopilot jumping.
Oh.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Okay, so one big thing of EVE Online, difference between EVE Online and Elite Dangerous, excuse me, is that if you lose your ship, you've lost your ship. As I was saying before, you don't get a cheap way of getting it back because you'll be the economy's player driven. Elite Dangerous's economy is NPC driven, if you get me. As in EVE Online, the ships you get are player built. The drones you get are player built. What you're getting is made by a player. In Elite Dangerous, not so. People ferry resources around, but that's all that's going on. It's not player built. You know, you get, you know, I upgrade to a new passenger ship. A player didn't build that, nor did they build the modules. So there they can afford to give discounts and that kind of thing, but you can't pull off the same thing in EVE Online. You know? So,
Autopilot jumping.
you just got to be more careful with what you're using. A common saying is not to plan you can't afford to lose.
Warping to Stargate.
Which is
Warp
good
drive
advice.
active.
Again, I might show some combat later.
Approaching Stargate.
Four jumps. Okay, we're just about there. Once we go through the Stargate, we'll be there.